He is a little bit thrushy, but he's been a bit poorly, so he's been on box rest. Whoa. Vicious little pony, his teabag. Hey. Hello, my name is Harry Spinks and I am a farrier based in Dorset in the UK. Today we're trimming Teabag here, who is a vicious little beast, who's a very small pony, and I have a very small cup of coffee. So let's see how we get on. We're going to be using power tools because he quite likes the hoof grinder rather than a normal nip and rasp. And yeah, we're going to trim the lovely Teabag up on his normal regular 5-week rotation and help him out, especially as he's been a bit poorly and he's been stuck in his stable for the last few days. Hey buddy? Good kid. So, Teabag is small and I am tall. So we are going to use a little hoof grinder here by a company called, or the disc is from a company called Workman. Again, not sponsored. Great little bit of kit. A lot of ponies really like it because you're not ragging their legs around. Especially when they've got tinny tiny little tootsies and you have to get on your knees. Some ponies can't cope with the noise. Well, you've grown loads of foot. It's surprising. Let's give it a little trim up. Good kid. I'm just taking away the exfoliating sole. He's grown loads of foot in the last trimming cycle for some reason, so I'm just going to take the bulk of it off with my nips, and then rather than use a rasp, good kid, I know, we're just going to use the grinder. Hello, Olive. Are you like, I want to be in the film too? Yeah. Good kiddo. Hey. So obviously you have to be incredibly careful using power tools around horses, but for a lot of the little ones, they really like it because you haven't got the jarring of the rasp. So when you're using a rasp and you're putting those strokes on, especially for laminitic horses, they don't like that. He's not a little laminitic pony at all. But same principle, they just don't like that jarring motion of the rasp as much. So if you can use something like a grinder, it takes that away. Some of them don't like it because of the sound, in which case you go back to traditional hand tools, but a lot of the little ones do like having, yeah, they do like having a grinder on them rather than a rasp. Ironically, I'm now going to use a rasp to tidy up his front foot, but I'm literally just beveling off the edge underneath on that, and it creates a slightly nicer finish, and he doesn't mind it. There we go. And that's his tootsie all done. I'm now going to trim the next 3 feet in exactly the same way. A little bit of snips and a little bit of grinder. He's a lovely little pony and he's a really good boy. So it's just a case of maintaining his feet, not letting them get too long. And as I said at the start, as with everything, keeping them on a shorter cycle is always better for them as an entity, their muscles, tendons, ligaments, and also keeping on top of what they're doing. And because we're keeping them on a shorter cycle, we haven't got too much work to do in one hit. Let's crack on. So Teabag, he is a little bit thrushy, but he's been a bit poorly. So he's been on box rest for the last few weeks, which is why he's a bit thrushier than normal, which is why we're just trimming this frog away. So thrush is a bacterial invasion of the frog, and it's anaerobic, so it thrives in non-oxygen conditions, such as in a bedding, you know, and then it just gets into the frog and starts eating away. It's typically found by the smell, so you can smell it, and also, where did I put that other knife? Here we go. You can smell it, and you can see that the frog is slightly black, and that's indicative of a bit of thrush in there. It's nothing for him. It's nothing to worry about. He's going back out in a few days, and that will all clear up in this weather that we're doing. For a lot of horses, you do need to worry about it, especially if it gets really bad and it gets down into your central sulcuses, and then it can progress up and it can get right up into like the back of the foot, and that can become a problem in the future. But for him, we're not worried about it. We're just going to trim up that frog so it's a bit neater, and we're going to take as much of that thrush out as possible. From there, the guys here can treat him a little bit topically, but mainly when he goes back out again, it will all dry up. So when I'm forward dressing the feet, it's really important that we just take off as little foot as possible. Sometimes you'll see that we're dressing quite high up the foot, and that'll be for specific reasons of conformation or just bringing that foot back a little bit more. But the more you dress away, the weaker that foot becomes, and you always need to remember that when you are dressing feet. So on his little feet, all we do is we just take the little bottom away and just round it up, because he doesn't need any more doing to it. And it's all about keeping as much foot on as possible to allow that foot to function as it should do properly, whilst obviously trimming off anything that's an excess foot, because then that will, as we said, that will cause problems for him in the future. Hey bud, that's you all done. You can go now. Whoa. Vicious little pony is Teabag. Hey.